Richician!
Hey, you get your dog Richician 84 here, and I'm doing an updated deck profile on my Cyberse deck. I felt this was needed since I did get hold of the support cards from Cyberstorm Access. So let's just get right into it. So first of all, I'm playing Boot Staggered still, and then 2 copies of one of the new cards, Firewall Phantom. I'll just read off the effects of the new cards for those who don't know what they do. So if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Cyberse monster, you can add a Signet spell or trap from your deck to your hand, then discard a card, which I must admit is something I forgot about in Edo Pro games. The discard bit. You can banish this card from your graveyard during the end phase of this turn, and then during the end phase of this turn, shuffle a Cyberse monster from your graveyard into the deck. You can only use each effect of Firewall Phantom once per turn. So ideally, you want to special summon this from the deck off Firewall Defensor, because you don't really want Phantom in your hand. So yeah, this is another of the new cards. If this is sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Cyberse monster, you can special summon a Fireball monster from your deck, except itself. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Cyberse monsters. No problem, because I only have Cyberse monsters in this deck. If a Firewall monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Firewall Defensor once per turn. And then for the rest of the deck I have Link Slayer still, good old Link Slayer, Gachari Attic Nista, then 3 copies of Clock Wyvern, 3 copies of Lady Debug, 2 copies of Balancer Lord, and then another new card, Rocket Coder, which came out in Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge. Yeah, this is a cool card that I also use in my Rocket deck. So the effects are, if this card would be used for the link summon of a Boral monster, you can treat this card as a dragon. You can only use each of the following effects of Rocket Coder once per turn. If a Cyberse monster you control would be used as link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand can be used as material. And if this card you control would be used as link material for a Boral monster, one dark monster in your hand can be used as material. So yeah, it's kind of really cool that both the hero and the rival, Playmaker and Revolver, can use this. Just like how Yusei and Jack use Majestic Dragon. Then I have a single copy of Code Radiator, a single copy of Code Generator, and 2 copies of Microcoder. Yeah, I had to drop this and balance it all down to 2 to make room for other things, which is kind of annoying. 2 copies of Widget Kid. We've got I've kind of run out of space here. And a single copy of Cyberse Gadget, 2 copies of Backup Secretary, a single copy of Cyberse Synchron, Dotscaper, and then I put back in Cyberse Magician, one of my favourite ritual monsters. This is more to help build up to the upgraded forms of Firewall Dragon, which I'll show you later on, and another of the new cards, Cyberse Sage, which I guess helps set up for them. So yeah, you can ritual summon this card with Signet Ritual, and during your main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard, including a Cyberse monster. And if this is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target a Cyberse monster or one ritual spell in your grave and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Cyberse Sage once per turn. I love how it doesn't do anything with Xyz monsters. That's interesting. And I think this is actually the first ever ritual monster that's also a tuner. We've never seen that before. But yeah, that's it for all of the monsters. Yeah, it kind of has to be monster heavy to get loads of plays off. Let's get into spells. So of course we have Signet Ritual to help bring out my ritual monsters. Signet Fusion as well. Then 3 copies of Signet Mining, 2 copies of Signet Codec, Signet Optimization, then Monster Reborn, Regeki, and Twin Twisters. So yeah, not a lot of spells. I've got so many monsters in here, and I don't have any traps this time. Yeah, that's that. Now for the extra deck, starting with the brand new Link monster, and the second ever Link 6 we've got. Firewall Dragon Singularity, which needs 3+ effect monsters. Yeah, this is the cover card of Cyberstorm Access, and for some reason competitive players have been after it. Not quite sure why. But yeah, I'll read off the effects. Quick effect: you can target cards your opponent controls or in their graveyard up to the number of different card types, Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz you control, and in your graveyard. Return them to the hand. Also, this card gains 500 attack for each returned card. Oh, and it gains that boost permanently, by the way. If a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can target one Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Firewall Dragon Singularity once per turn. So yeah, it does take a lot to bring it out, and it does gain more benefits to its first effect if you get different monster types in the graveyard or out on the field, but it's generally worth it. I mean, it is possible to get that far, but yeah, still needs a lot of setup. In fact, because of the way I've made the deck, I also put back in Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. Cover card of Chaos Impact. So yeah, that's back in the deck now. So I thought, why not? And then the other form, which you've seen already, Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid Neo Tempest Terahertz. And then of course the original Firewall Dragon. And then excuse me. Then of course good old Access Code Talker. That's still in there. Yeah, a lot of situations do call for Access Code Talker, but it's nice to have a strategy other than building up to it, because yeah, this deck was just getting boring to play, since going for Access Code was all I was doing when I wanted to do something else, really. And I've still got Decode Talker. Now you could argue that Decode Talker isn't needed anymore, but like it's one of the original Cyberse monsters and original Links, which I've played alongside Firewall since I first started playing. It just wouldn't feel right not playing it. And like I keep saying, I mean, it doesn't matter how I play this deck, as long as I still have Decode Talker and Firewall Dragon in here, that's all I care about. Then Xcode Talker, and I'm playing a single copy of Transcode Talker now. Now, normally you should play 2, and I would, but I needed room for other things. Yeah, this is another reason why we need the extra deck limit increased. Because, yeah, even Cyberse is running out of space. Then Code Talker Inverted, a single copy of Splash Mage, which normally should be a 2-of, but again, I needed room for other things. And Cyberse Witch, which I put back in. Sorry, no pun intended. That's it for links. For fusions, yes, fusions, I'm still playing Cyberse Clock Dragon, and also Cyberse, yeah, I still have trouble pronouncing this name, Desovworm? I think that's how you say it. Either that or I'm just butchering the name. So another of the new cards, which requires a Cyberse Ritual Fusion Synchro Xyz or Link monster, and any Cyberse monster. So, potential great Super Poly target. During your main phase, you can special summon a Cyberse from your hand. Then you can make this card's level become the same as that monster. When your opponent activates a spell, trap, or effect while you control a Link 4 or higher Cyberse monster, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard to negate the activation, and you can only use them once per turn. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a dark bribe on legs, which I kind of forgot about actually, and I don't normally like those cards. However, it does have a fair cost, which is just simply banishing itself. So it can only happen once. You know, it's literally like a dark bribe, basically. Can only do it once, can't do it again, unlike things like Endymion, Shen, Heraklinos, which makes this card more fair and balanced than those cards will ever be. And then, still playing the one and only Synchro, which is Cyberse Quantum Dragon, and the only Xyz, which is Firewall Exceed Dragon. And yeah, there is a valid reason to play Firewall Exceed, because it can bring Firewall Dragon and Access Code Talker back from the graveyard. Haven't summoned it for ages though. I mean, usually I end up milling it, Quantum, all my fusions with Neo Tempest Terahertz. I guess that's part of the strategy now, just simply setting up for Dark Fluid or Singularity. That's pretty much the way it runs now, so it's a more complex strategy than how I was playing it before, but at least it makes the deck fun again. So yeah, that is basically it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. And thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.